He screamed at the judge, mocked the victims, and turned a courtroom into chaos.
I don't care about the inevitable. It was already written from day one what was going to happen. It doesn't make me lose any sleep.
You need to stop right now or you will be removed.
Remove me then. You want to come check the boxes yourself? It's not no game. That's what you don't seem to understand.
Mr. Brooks.
And Miss Judge,
I'm going to stand my ground on this.
I'm going to stand my ground too. And it's disrespectful to me that you think I would come in here purposely and treat this like a joke or a game. Your life is not on the line. Mine is. And you think that I think this is funny?
I don't think it's funny whatsoever.
I think you should show some respect.
For weeks, Darrell Brooks argued, shouted, and tried to control the trial of his own crimes, the Christmas parade tragedy that left 6 people dead and more than 60 injured. But then, in a moment no one expected, the judge who had endured his endless outbursts began to cry as she delivered her sentence.
1 life sentence for Virginia Sorensen. 1 life sentence for Leanna Owen. 1 life sentence for Tamara Durand. 1 life sentence for Jane Kulik. 1 life sentence for Bill Hospital. And 1 life sentence for Jackson Sparks.
Life after life after life, stacked one on top of the other until his future was gone. And the man who never stopped shouting finally broke down in tears when he realized there would be no escape. This is the story of Darrell Brooks, the trial that became a circus, and the emotional moment when justice brought even the judge to tears. The man accused of plowing his SUV into a Christmas parade that left 6 dead and more than 60 injured wasn't pleading for mercy. He was fighting the judge, fighting the prosecutors, fighting the very system that tried to hold him accountable. He pounded his fists, accused the court of being biased, and called the entire process a game.
1 more interruption and you're going to be removed to the next courtroom.
That's what you want to do anyway.
It's not what I want to do. Do not interrupt Attorney Opper.
So can
Your
you
Honor,
tell,
I
can
believe
you
he has 7 prior criminal convictions via OWI second from 2003, criminal trespass to dwelling from 2006.
Right, I need to take a break. This man right now is having a stare down with me. It's very disrespectful. He pounded his fist. Frankly, it makes me scared. And we're taking a break.
It wasn't just defiance, it was chaos. But let's step back for a minute. On November 21st, 2021, the city of Waukesha, Wisconsin, was glowing with holiday cheer. Families lined the streets for the annual Christmas parade. It was supposed to be joy until it turned into horror. At 4:39 p.m., a red Ford Escape burst past the barricades and roared down the parade route. Witnesses say it was swerving intentionally, targeting clusters of people. In seconds, laughter turned to screams. 6 lives were stolen that day, including 8-year-old Jackson Sparks. 62 others were injured. Behind the wheel was Darrell Brooks Jr., a career criminal with a rap sheet stretching back to the 1990s. Just 2 days earlier, he had walked free on a $1,000 bond for another violent case. And now, the unthinkable had happened. His arrest was almost surreal. After fleeing the SUV, Brooks knocked on a stranger's door, claiming he was homeless and waiting for an Uber. But within minutes, police swarmed and took him into custody.
Hey, can I? My ID! My ID!
Hands up! Put your hands where I can see them!
Whoa!
Hands up! Hands up!
What? I just...
26, 500 block of Elizabeth, 126.
The case seemed open and shut, but what unfolded in court was anything but simple. Brooks fired his public defenders and insisted on representing himself.
Do you wish to represent yourself in this case?
Yes, I do.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I would like to represent myself pro per.
So if you are allowed to represent yourself in this case, sir, you will not have attorneys assisting you. If I let them withdraw, they are gone from this case. Do you understand that?
From that moment, the courtroom became a battlefield. He flooded the trial with sovereign citizen arguments, denying the state's jurisdiction, questioning the court's authority, and objecting to nearly every sentence spoken by prosecutors and even the judge. Day after day, the disruptions mounted. Brooks ripped his shirt off, hid notes in his pants, and at one point had to be wheeled into a separate courtroom where he could watch proceedings on a monitor, muted when necessary. His outbursts weren't just frequent, they were volcanic. He shouted at Judge Doro in one explosive exchange saying, "Your life is not on the line, mine is."
It's time, Your Honor.
It is based on the list that you provided and
That didn't have a time. That didn't have a time or of
I'm not going to
or
play
order.
this game with you, sir.
It's not no game. That's what you don't seem to understand.
I believe that fully.
I don't care what you believe fully.
All right.
It's not a game. I don't take this as a game. That's what nobody. That's what nobody. You don't got to explain nothing to me.
Do you want?
That's what you don't understand. You think that this is a whole game to me. This is not a game to me, Your Honor. Nothing about this is a joke. That's what y'all don't understand.
But there's
and it's unfair. It's unfair and it's disrespectful to me that you think I would come in here purposely and treat this like a joke or a game.
I never said it was a joke.
What type of statement is that?
Mr.
Your life is not on the line. Mine is. And you think that I think this is funny?
I don't think it's funny whatsoever.
So I think, Your Honor, with all due respect, I think you should show some respect.
We're going to take a 5-minute break, and when we come back, the jury's coming out, and you need to call your next witness. Thank you. We are in recess.
No, you're not rushing me to judgment. I don't care which one.
Through it all, Doro maintained control, though it wore on her. She described the case as the most challenging of her career. Jurors watched patiently, as if waiting for Brooks' storm to run out of thunder. But the evidence was overwhelming. Videos of the SUV tearing through the parade, dozens of eyewitnesses, survivors who pointed at Brooks as the man behind the wheel. On October 26, 2022, after just 3 hours of deliberation, the jury returned guilty on all 76 counts.
We, the jury, find the defendant, Darrell E. Brooks, guilty of first-degree intentional homicide as charged in count 3 of the information. And I should state as to count 2, it was signed and dated by the foreperson, same as to count 3. Did the defendant commit first-degree intentional homicide while using a dangerous weapon? Answer, yes.
6 lives taken, 61 more endangered, and countless families shattered. Sentencing came weeks later, and it became one of the most emotional hearings in Wisconsin history. 45 survivors and family members stepped forward. Their words cut through the courtroom like glass. Even then, Brooks tried to argue. He interrupted again, challenged the victims, and declared he too was a victim of a broken system.
How you want to sit up here and try to add something in that you know for a fact never even happened? You want to sit up here and talk about who has grace and all this. You talking about someone with 5 kids that don't have custody.
You need to stop right now or you will be removed.
Remove me then.
All right, he will be removed. He cannot simply stay quiet when this court talks.
Anyway, I don't consent to this.
But when it was finally her turn, Judge Doro's composure gave way. Fighting tears, she spoke directly to Brooks, saying, "There are no words to describe the depth of pain you have caused."
It's hard not to think about what I watched and not have this reaction. Those were images that frankly kept me up at night, that I saw over and over and over. For their band director, she is a hero to me, to get up on the stand, to talk about, and that was Sarah Waymeyer Aparicio, to identify each one of her students, talk about their formation, talk about what she saw. So strong for all of you.
Then came the sentence. 6 consecutive life sentences without the possibility of parole, 1 for each victim, plus more than 762 years for the dozens of others injured.
Frankly, Mr. Brooks, no one is safe from you. This community can only be safe if you are behind bars for the rest of your life. On counts 1 through 6, this court is imposing a life sentence without the possibility or eligibility for extended supervision consecutive to one another. 1 life sentence for Virginia Sorensen. 1 life sentence for Leanna Owen. 1 life sentence for Tamara Durand. 1 life sentence for Jane Kulik. 1 life sentence for Bill Hospital. And 1 life sentence for Jackson Sparks. On counts 7 through 67, consecutive to any other sentence that I've imposed here today, that is 762 and a half years of initial confinement and 305 years of extended supervision on top of the life sentences that I've imposed. Has anyone else joined the Zoom?
It was, in essence, a punishment meant to keep Darrell Brooks behind bars forever. And for the first time, after weeks of arrogance and anger, Brooks broke. He stood at the defense table, lips folding, taking deep breath, though you can barely see the tears sliding down his face. The same man who had mocked the court, shouted at the judge, and denied his own name, finally turned soft, showing signs of crying when his own fate was sealed. The Waukesha parade attack will always be remembered as one of the darkest days in Wisconsin's history. But in that courtroom, justice was delivered, loudly, painfully, and with tears from both the families of the victims and from the very judge who handed it down. Now here's the question I want to leave you with. Darrell Brooks turned his trial into a circus, arguing, shouting, and showing no remorse until the very end. But when the judge handed down his sentence, he finally broke down in tears. Do you think those tears were real? True regret for what he did? Or was it just the realization that he'd never walk free again? Let me know what you think in the comments. And if you enjoyed watching this video, click the next video on your screen. You won't regret it. Thanks for watching.